Today is Thursday, August 28th, 2025, and this is Read Through the Bible.
And we're reading the book of Judges, which is one of the least favorite books in all the Bible because it is so quote-unquote disturbing.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
Because
it is.
Yeah, and it is. In fact, the whole key to the book of Judges is the very last verse in the book of Judges, which says that in those days there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. Right. And we see all these guys just doing what's right in their own eyes, and basically the people of God run amok, is what it is.
Yeah.
And so we've been looking, the judges are really military warriors who God raises up when the people cry to the Lord, and they deliver people militarily. These are more like saviors. And the book of Judges teaches a couple things. I mean, one is that there's a great savior that we have who's better than all these saviors. And it also teaches us of grace.
Right, just that God would keep forgiving these people and not giving up on them, even though they forsake him. And even when he sends a deliverer and helps them, they're really not very grateful and they're not changed.
But yet still he saves them militarily and just gives them opportunity. And so it's just over and over and over again that God is a graceful God. That's what it teaches us. Okay, so there are 12 judges, and we've gone through 5 of them, right? There are
Othniel,
Ehud, Shamgar, Deborah, Gideon. Okay, so there's 5 of them so far. And then the 6th one is Tola, Jair, Jephthah, Ibzan, Elon, Abdon, and Samson. And so the reason we know those is because we have...
Guess what?
Guess what we have? We have a song of the 12 judges. We will link that in the show notes. So if you want to learn the names of the 12 judges, which is really helpful because their names pop then when you hear of them, this would be helpful for you.
Right. Another thing I think that's helpful in that song is we sum up the judges cycle.
Yep.
And it says,
Israel forsook the Lord, so they were severely distressed. God raised up judges to deliver them. But when the judge died, Israel was worse than before. That's the judges cycle of chapter 2.
I have to sing it to say it right.
Yeah, I know. We got it. Okay, so we're going to read about Abimelech. Abimelech was actually the son of Gideon.
He was he was a son of a concubine.
Gideon had 70 sons by his wives, 1 son by a concubine at least. Abimelech just shows you Gideon was not a righteous person either.
No.
Okay, that's been a long introduction. Probably record-length introduction today. Okay, here we go.
All right, one chapter, chapter 9. Now Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem to his mother's relatives and said to them, and to the whole clan of his mother's family, "Say in all the ears of the leaders of Shechem, which is better for you, that all 70 of the sons of Jerubbaal rule over you, or that one rule over you? Remember also that I am your bone and your flesh."
Here's Abimelech, probably a good leader, stirring up strife in the family and the nation. And his mother's relatives spoke all these words on his behalf in the ears of all the leadership of Shechem, and their hearts inclined to follow Abimelech, for they say, "He is our brother." And they gave him 70 pieces of silver out of the house of Baal-berith, with which Abimelech hired worthless and reckless fellows who followed him. And he went to his father's house at Ophrah and killed his brothers, the son of Jerubbaal, and Jerubbaal is Gideon, 70 men on one stone. So he's killing 70 brothers.
That?
I don't know how he did that, but these worthless fellows maybe, whatever.
See, it's disturbing.
But Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, was left, for he hid himself, and all the leaders of Shechem came together, and all Beth Millo, and they went and made Abimelech king by the oak of the pillar at Shechem.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, I was right. So killed 69 brothers.
Yeah. Okay, verse 7. When it was told to Jotham, he's the brother, that escaped. He went and stood on top of Mount Gerizim and cried aloud and said to them, "Listen to me, you leaders of Shechem, that God may listen to you." The trees once went out to anoint a king over them, and they said to the olive tree, "Reign over us." But the olive tree said to them, "Shall I leave my abundance by which gods and men are honored and go hold sway over the trees?" And the trees said to the fig tree, "You come and reign over us." But the fig tree said to them, "Shall I go leave my sweetness and my good fruit and go hold sway over the trees?" And the tree said to the vine, "You come reign over us." But the vine said to them, "Shall I leave my vine that cheers God and men and go hold sway over the trees?" Then all the trees said to the bramble, it's like thorny shrubbery.
That's Abimelech is bramble.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You come reign over us. And the bramble said to the trees, if in good faith you are anointing me king over you, then come and take refuge in my shade. But if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon.
Okay, now here's his appeal, the surviving son of Gideon. Now therefore, if you acted in good faith and integrity when you made Abimelech king, and if you have dealt well with Jerubbaal and his house, and have done to him as his deeds deserve, for my father fought for you, this is Gideon, and risked his life, and delivered you from the hand of Midian. And you have risen up against my father's house this day, and have killed his sons, 70 men on one stone, and have made Abimelech, the son of his female servant, king over the leaders of Shechem, because he is your relative. And so this is just like the one illegitimate child is the one they chose, right? Over the concubine.
Right.
And if you then have acted in good faith and integrity with Jerubbaal, and with his house this day, then rejoice in Abimelech, and let him also rejoice in you. But if not, let fire come down out from Abimelech, and devour the leaders of Shechem and Beth Millo, and let fire come out from the leaders of Shechem and from Beth Millo, and devour Abimelech. And Jotham ran away and fled to Beer and lived there because of Abimelech, his brother.
So that whole section with the story about the different trees and then the bramble and then this charge here, that was all by Jotham, the one legitimate son who survived.
Right.
Right? And then he ran away. Okay. All right. Verse 22. So Abimelech ruled over Israel 3 years. So now it says he ruled over Israel, but he was not considered one of the judges.
No, because he was kind of
corrupt.
anointed king. They said, come and be our king and rule over us. It said that they made him a king in verse 6.
So he's not a deliverer that God raised up for them.
This
he's
is not
just
one
sort
of the
a
judges.
Self-appointed
king. Yep.
Right. Okay.
It even says at the end of Judges, right? There's no king in Israel in those days. Like they had this king ruler, but it wasn't ordained of God at all, but he just kind of set himself up as the ruler.
Okay, so verse 22 again. Abimelech ruled over Israel 3 years, and God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the leaders of Shechem. And the leaders of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech, that the violence done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal might come, and their blood be laid on Abimelech their brother, who killed them, and on the men of Shechem, who strengthened his hand to kill his brothers. And the leaders of Shechem put men in ambush against him on the mountaintops, and they robbed all who passed by them along the way. And it was told to Abimelech.
And Gaal, the son of Ebed, moved into Shechem with his relatives, like he's like an outsider, is what my sense is. And the leaders of Shechem put confidence in him. And they went out to the field and gathered the grapes from the vineyards and trod them and held a festival. And they went into the house of their God and ate and drank and reviled Abimelech. And Gaal, the son of Ebed, said, Who is Abimelech, and who are we of Shechem, that we should serve him? Is he not the son of Jerubbaal, and is not Zebul his officer? Serve the men of Hamor, the father of Shechem. But why should we serve him? Would that this people were under my hand, then I would remove Abimelech, and I would say to Abimelech, Increase your army and come out. So this outsider's kind of coming in and saying, basically, I'm the guy. You should follow me, not Abimelech.
Okay, verse 30. When Zebul, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gaal, the son of Ebed, his anger was kindled. And he sent messengers to Abimelech, secretly saying, Behold, Gaal, the son of Ebed, and his relatives have come to Shechem, and they are stirring up the city against you. Okay, so this outsider, Gaal, is a threat to the leaders. Okay, now therefore go by night, you and the people who are with you, and set an ambush in the field. Then in the morning, as soon as the sun is up, rise early and rush upon the city. And when he and the people who are with him come out against you, you may do to them as your hand finds to do.
So Abimelech and all the men who were with him rose up by night and set an ambush against Shechem in 4 companies. And Gaal, the son of Ebed, went out and stood in the entrance of the gate of the city, and Abimelech and the people who were with him rose from the ambush. And when Gaal saw the people, he said to Zebul, Look, people are coming down from the mountaintops. And Zebul said to him, You mistake the shadow of the mountains for men. Gaal spoke again and said, Look, people are coming down from the center of the land, and one company is coming from the direction of the diviner's oak. Then Zebul said to him, Where's your mouth now, you who said, Who is Abimelech, that we should serve him? Are not all these people whom you despise? Go out now and fight with them. You stirred them up, you go fight with them. And Gaal went out at the head of the leaders of Shechem and fought with Abimelech. And Abimelech chased him, and he fled before him. And many fell wounded up to the entrance of the gate. And Abimelech lived at Arumah. And Zebul drove out Gaal and his relatives, so they could not dwell at Shechem. So these outsiders, they drove him out. So it's like
the people of
squabbles.
Shechem drove the outsider out.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Verse 42. On the following day, the people went out in the field, and Abimelech was told. He took his people and divided them into 3 companies and set an ambush in the fields. And he looked and saw the people coming out of the city. So he rose against them and killed them. Abimelech and the company that was with him rushed forward and stood at the entrance of the gate of the city, while the 2 companies rushed upon all who were in the field and killed them. And Abimelech fought against the city all that day. He captured the city and killed the people who were in it, and he razed the city and sowed it with salt. But, isn't this his city?
Yeah.
Why is he doing this to them?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
And when all the leaders of the tower of Shechem heard of it, they entered the stronghold of the house of El-Berith. Abimelech was told that the leaders of the tower of Shechem were gathered together, and Abimelech went up to Mount Zalmon. He and all the people were with him, and Abimelech took an axe in his hand and cut down a bundle of brushwood and took it up and laid on his shoulder, and he said to the men who were with him, "What you have seen me do, hurry, do as I have done." So every one of the people cut down his bundle and following Abimelech, put it against the stronghold. And they set the stronghold on fire over them, so that all the people of the tower of Shechem also died, about 1,000 men and women.
So he just burned these guys who were in a tower.
Yep, just like nothing, right?
A big tower.
Yep, just get all your bundle of wood and put it at the bottom and just form this big fire.
Verse 50. Then Abimelech went to Thebez and encamped against Thebez and captured it. But there was a strong tower within the city, and all the men and women and the leaders of the city fled to it. And shut themselves in, and they went up to the roof of the tower. And Abimelech came to the tower and fought against it. And drew near to the door of the tower to burn it with fire, just like he did in Shechem.
It worked once; surely it will work again.
However, there's a turn. And a certain woman threw an upper millstone on Abimelech's head and crushed his skull.
Yep.
So he's down there on the ground, and all these people are up in the tower, and somehow she's able to get a millstone. That's got to be heavy.
Yep, just
hundreds of pounds.
Well, he's right there at the door, so it kind of dropped.
Yeah, they could just kind of push it out.
Yeah, and
then it fell and crushed his skull.
I do think it's significant here that she threw an upper millstone, crushed his head, and he was the one. Remember, he killed all these 70 stones on one stone.
Oh,
it emphasizes one stone. He killed on a stone. Now he's going to be killed by a stone. Yeah,
interesting.
And killed by a woman. That's the worst of all.
Right.
So
This is very dishonoring.
Yeah.
Verse 54. Then he called quickly to the young man, his armor bearer, and said to him, he can still talk.
Yeah.
Why? Draw your sword and kill me, lest they say of me, a woman killed me. And his young man thrust him through, and he died.
Okay, got a quick story here. Is that when we play with Lance Menon, when we play like Capture the Flag games before with him, and they come into jail, and then Lance has been in charge of the jail, and makes him say something or do something to get with push-ups or I don't know, jumping jacks or something like that. He sometimes, if someone got caught and put in jail by a girl, he makes them yell out just like Abimelech was, "I was tagged out by a girl. I was tagged out." Say that 20 times really loud. So it's always coming back from this story here that Abimelech was killed by a woman. So.
But he didn't want that to be known. However, it is known.
Yep.
Okay, verse 55. And when the men of Israel saw that Abimelech was dead, everyone departed to his home. Thus God returned the evil of Abimelech, which he committed against his father in killing his 70 brothers. And God also made all the evil of the men of Shechem return on their heads. And upon them came the curse of Jotham, the son of Jerubbaal. And that's when Jotham stood up and told the story about the trees.
Yep. Okay, so in terms of a summary here, just Abimelech helps, but there's so much here. But Abimelech becomes king of Shechem by killing his 70 brothers, except for Jotham. Mm-hmm. And then Gaal stirs up Shechem against Abimelech, and Abimelech's skull is crushed by a millstone thrown by a woman.
Yeah, I have written down God's vengeance on Abimelech for killing his 70 brothers.
That's much more concise.
Concise. So
that's really good.
God's vengeance on Abimelech for killing his 70 brothers.
Okay, that sounds good. We will see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.